And what a week it has been, particularly yesterday, the scenes that we saw play out, still playing out in Rivers State, at the Rivers State Assembly, where the lawmakers have again, I must say a third time now, begun impeachment proceedings against the governor of Rivers State and his deputy. So I imagine that this is some sort of record, Jeffrey. Third time, 2023, 2025, just in March last year, and now January 2026, the Rivers State Assembly has initiated impeachment proceedings against one governor, the same governor, 3 times in the past 3 years. And I don't know if they have looked at this much budgets, because even budgets have been controversial. I don't think they've successfully looked at 3 budgets in this past 3 years, as much as they have gone through impeachment proceedings against the governor. And I just want to throw the challenge to Rivers State people. Maybe just do a search, mental search, online search, ask around, and ask what are the 3 major things that the Rivers State government, both the executive and legislature, have achieved in this past 3 years. I'm not sure you have as much as these 3 impeachment proceedings. The impeachment proceedings will majorly be their biggest achievement. And maybe for the governor, Jeffrey, maybe it will be his movement to the APC and him surviving the 6 months suspension. Really, what can the people of Rivers State say they have gained from this government in the past 3 years? So can we say, Jeffrey, that the state of emergency and that suspension was a wasted 6 months in that sense, because constitutionally it fell through, and the president has always said the end justifies the means, but this end we're seeing is not justifying the means. So it fell through constitutionally, and the result as well is falling through. So are we going to see another 6 months of state of emergency, another round of suspension? Make it make sense, really, because this is not what democracy is meant to be, except that we have a different definition of democracy in Nigeria. It's government of some people, by some people, and for some people. Jeffrey, we're here.
It's nauseating, it's exhausting. If I have my way, I don't even want to comment on the Rivers issue, but what can you do when you see it's just about the political class within the state refusing to grow up, bury their hatchets, align their interests, and all of that. And there's enough blame to go around. Governor Siminala Fubara, who is the governor of the state, has a lot of things he did wrong. Nyesom Wike has a lot of things he also did wrong, because those are the 2 cardinal people. There's a House of Assembly in between the mix. There are things that are not known, there are things that are known. But at the end of the day, this is about control. This is about who controls what, as far as the politics is concerned. Like you've mentioned, perhaps the government has done some things, but because of the controversial issues, he will not know what he has done, because we've seen a House of Assembly of 3 or 4, no, 4 first, pass a budget in record 24, 48 hours. We saw a House of Assembly of 3 pass. We saw, in my view, unconstitutional administration of emergency under a Bakate Bath also submit a budget to the National Assembly, which is a budget that is still running, which, according to Section 122, can still run maybe till July. You have 6 months to run and all of that. The argument they are making, the lawmakers are making, is to the effect that they've never been presented a budget under this administration. And, what has happened is that politics has beclouded even everything, and even the law seems not to be saving. Remember this case, the president has intervened, although in that first intervention, when you look at the 8-point agreement that was made, it's primarily, if you look at it, people have argued that it's skewed against the governor. So the question is, if you know it's skewed against you, why did you agree? Were you overwhelmed? Can't you speak up for yourself? Yes, the governor doesn't have much political experience, so perhaps he's learning the game right now. And then there are other agreements that we don't know whether it's skewed against him. We've seen commissioners being sworn in, commissioners resigning, then they brought them back, and then they left again. So it's just a very serious conundrum as far as the Rivers State politics is concerned. At this point, I'm just feeling for the people of Rivers State who are at the very receiving end because people like Amewule, the Speaker of the House, is saying, look, he even said the governor is a mistake, made a lot of comments, was super angry that the governor was boasting, that now that he's in APC, the president will come to his rescue. So I now see that this battle has moved from Wike, House of Assembly, governor, to maybe the president in the mix somewhere. Because for Bashiru Ajibola, of this, the scribe of the NWC, the scribe of the APC, who is the national secretary, to come out gun blazing, calling the man to resign, calling Wike to resign, I doubt if he doesn't have clearance from above to say that, whether he will be able to say some of the things he say. So as the battle now shifted from Wike to the president, from Wike and Fubara to Wike to, versus the presidency, is a mixed bag of a big conundrum. I'm trying as much as possible not to, because there's blame to go round. Do you understand? If you look at it critically, there are things that Fubara misstepped. There are things that Wike has done wrong as well. At the end of the day, the Rivers people are not gaining anything from this mess. All of them, without an exception, they have all created for the people of the state. And now they have gone for the third time, record third time in less than 3 years, to impeach the governor. The speaker will tell you that the first aggressor was the governor, because the governor, in their view, based on stories we hear, was the first to make a move to unseat him as speaker, even when Yeson Wike had said so. So that's why they moved that initial time to unseat him. So it depends on who you are listening to. I am just tired. I'm just exhausted. You know, if it is possible to just win off this set of political class so that, you know, we can have people that can put their acts together. This is about interest. This is about aligning those interests. They have complained that after they resolved this particular last one, they asked the governor, because I saw the letter, the agenda, when they sat, and said, look, governor, do you want to continue with Ibokete Bass's budget, or you want to present a new one? Also bring the names of commissioner nominees, and so we can screen. According to the reports, I don't know how I can confirm that report, the governor did not respond to them. I hear the governor was trying to renovate or rebuild the State Assembly and then present his budget and do all of that before the new building. But that's why they passed a resolution in one of their sittings to say these quarters where they're sitting now is the official sitting. Oh, God. It's not a laughing matter. Yeah. But for me, Kayode, what people are looking at is not what I am looking at. However they want to resolve their problem, they will resolve their problem. It's within their right to start the impeachment process. And to impeach a governor or a deputy is not an easy process. So it's within their right by Section 188 to initiate an impeachment proceedings, which they've done. In 14 days, they have to do that. The governor has to respond after 7 days. If he doesn't respond, of course, the chief judge will set up a panel of impeccable people with great character. They'll make a decision, I think, within 3 months, whether the governor is guilty of the alleged gross misconduct. If he's not guilty, that's the end. If he's guilty, they will now vote, you know, to formally impeach him, and that can even go to court. According to Section 10, subsection 10 of 188, the court is not supposed to intervene. But where the court comes in is to see whether everything from subsection 1 to 9 was followed. Yeah. That's where the court comes in. So what I'm uncomfortable about is not even this whatever, because we've seen this drama before. I don't know how it will end. I'm not a prophet, but I have an idea how things will flow from here, but I'm not going to say it on TV, is what I call the emergence of amorphous politics, Kayode. This idea, because we has started something called the Rainbow Coalition, where merging PDP and APC, I think is a conundrum, is something that should be condemned, is absurdity to democracy. It should never be allowed anywhere, and because I've seen it be I saw that the governor of Akwa Ibom too was trying to work with the APC and the PDP. What kind of political class are we dealing with here? If you want to do party politics, do party politics. If you don't want to do party politics, forget about it. The reason now, they are seeing it as smart move, they are able to collapse structure, able to collapse party to do that. No. What you're doing is destroying democracy, and let me explain what I mean. Democracy must give people the ideal of choice, and these are top political parties as far as that is concerned. when you mushroom it into one and omnibus, in that sense, you're giving people just one choice. That is the danger to all of this collapsing APC and PDP or any. No, it doesn't work anywhere. Allow parties to be. If you want to do APC, do your APC. If you want to do your PDP, do your PDP. If you want to do your ADC, do your ADC. Let Nigerians be able to make up their mind who to follow and not to follow.
And that is the big challenge here, Jeffrey. By the way, the Rainbow Coalition is missing a lot of colors. There's no orange there. Maybe you get AAC Shore, orange beret. You need yellow, by the way. Maybe you need to get APGA and the rest. But that's just by the way. The point here is, I want us to get to the point as a people where we begin to do more. I know some say it's too much to ask for. Nobody listens to you. It's just one voice out of a million. You don't have as much power or weight and all of that. But think about this. Just compare the headlines, for example, in Nigeria to the headlines in some other countries. You see what they're exporting. What can we say we're exporting right now? What? Rainbow Party, impeachment. I mean, these are the things the young people are seeing in terms of what productivity is like, because that's what's making the headlines. It's nothing about industrialization. I mean, forget industrialization. It's the age of artificial intelligence. Other countries are setting their sights now on how to shore up their territorial integrity, because where the world is headed to right now is very tricky waters. But what are we talking about? It's where we're at right now. So whether you like it or not, whether you are involved or not, they have involved you. So it's high time that the people started saying, yes, you can play politics, absolutely, but governance must not be lower than politics in that sense. Governance must not take the back seat while politics takes the front seat. No, that should not happen. I mean, how can you explain a record 3 impeachment proceedings in 3 years, and it looks like this would continue? Maybe what we'll have next is a state of extraordinary emergency by the president, since the state of emergency didn't work. And instead of suspension, you never know, maybe it will be an outright expulsion. But we'll be bringing you our live updates from Port Harcourt and Rivers State Lodge from our correspondent this morning, just to give you a sense of what exactly is playing out a day after the Rivers State House of Assembly initiated impeachment proceedings against Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy. Interesting times we're in. Is just a year to 2027, so you know that their sight is also on 2027. But how are the dailies reflecting all of these big stories, the impeachment and others? Well, we'll take a moment, and when we return, we'll take a look at the front pages for you. Stay with us. We'll be right back.